After a loss in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final, the Edmonton Oilers look to bounce back Friday night in Game 2 against the Dallas Stars. And here to break down what we saw in Game 1 is our very own Bob Stauffer. And Bob, we know this time of year special teams can really be the difference maker. In Game 1, it certainly was for the Edmonton Oilers. What did you see from, the Dallas power play as well as the Edmonton's penalty kill?
Well, Paige, just to start off with, this is the first time I recall doing a panel in this location since the 2018 NHL draft, a time in which the Oilers had the 10th overall pick and they took Evan Bouchard. And it was about the same temperature as it is right now, so I may start sweating in about the next 30 seconds. But I think that puts things in perspective. The Oilers had a top 10 overall pick that year, and here we are over the last 4 years. The Oilers have won 8 playoff series, and to put things in perspective, the Vancouver Canucks have never had a 4-year run where they won 8 playoff series. So we're in the middle of it, and with that comes great expectations.
Yep.
And this team has a belief in itself, and they didn't achieve in an aspect of their game yesterday, and it ended up undermining what was a pretty good performance through 40 minutes. So a few things. I liked Edmonton's 5-on-5 game. Natural stat trick had the Oilers at about 58% expected goals for. That's a good thing. I thought both Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on different lines took it to the Dallas Stars. At the end of the second period, Jack Michaels and myself were discussing on the Oilers radio network the importance of the kill to start the third period, and they didn't get out of that. And at the end of the day, Dallas scored 3 power play goals, Paige, in 48 seconds of offensive zone time.
Yeah.
That is not a recipe for success. So the Oilers, one thing we've seen under Chris Knobloch and the staff, with Glenn Gulletson and Paul Coffey and Mark Stewart, is they've been able to make adjustments as the series has gone on. They're playing a team that's running a hot power play. We know all about that in oil country. We've watched the greatest power play in the league over a 6-year run. And I loved what Leon Draisaitl said last night about the Oilers' power play needing to be better and taking a little bit of ownership there too. Connor talked about it when we did the first media availability here in Dallas. So the Oilers are clearly cognizant that, the penalty kill last night had some tough moments, ultimately cost the team the game. I expect them to be better. They'll make some subtle adjustments. And conversely, when Edmonton gets their chances, they got to finish off when they're up 3-1 last night. Second period, got on the power play. Could have used a goal, or maybe it's a different game heading to the third. So, Edmonton was so good last year. 94% on the PK, 29% on the power play, like 124% combined between the two in the playoffs. They're at 62% on the PK right now. They gotta get this thing fixed in a hurry.
Is there a silver lining to know that, okay, you can hone in on what you need to fix on the penalty kill? That being said, at 5-on-5, they were pretty good against the Dallas Stars. They composed the pace of play, especially through the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, the other reason why there's a silver lining is knowing how good this team has been as playoff series have gone on. Under Chris Knobloch, with last night's loss, the Oilers have dropped to 7-12 in the opening 3 games of a playoff series. But they're 16-2 in games 4 through 7. So, tomorrow night's a huge game.
Yeah.
Dallas is a really good team. They're a professional team. They're a well-managed, well-coached hockey club with a lot of veteran players.
Yep.
And like Edmonton, they've been around it the last several. This is the 3rd straight year they've been in the conference final. I think one of the things that was for me a little bit frustrating with last night's game is you got an A performance from Connor and Leon. Like, they were bringing it and carrying the play when they were out on the ice. So, clean up the special teams, take a couple fewer penalties, and maybe you'll put yourself in a position for a better result.
You mentioned some of the numbers real quick. What do you think it is about this team and their ability to bounce back and not get too down on themselves when Game 1 or the beginning of the series doesn't go their way?
Well, I do think they're well coached. I think they don't overreact, and they make subtle adjustments. They got a lot of really good players.
Yeah.
Okay. and they have a lot of experience. And sometimes when you have experience with good players and a coaching staff that doesn't overreact, you're able to ride the low ebbs and bring it back and have some semblance of order in your game. And I think that Edmonton's been able to do that. And, look no further. Last year they were down 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 to Vancouver. They were down 2-1 to Dallas, down 2-0 in the game number 4 in Edmonton. came back to win the series. They rallied from 3-0 down against Florida, lost on a one bounce in Game 7, right? Down 2-0 to LA already in this year's playoffs.
Yeah.
So, but they are going to need to play better. And it's a huge game tomorrow night. Dallas has a different chin than LA, if that makes sense. Like, LA was up 2-0. They were looking pretty good. But LA hasn't had playoff success. Dallas has had some. It's a huge game tomorrow night here in Dallas.
You mentioned it, the Oilers will lean on their experience, and I'm so glad that we've been able to experience some shades moment here in Dallas, and we got to be able to find some AC as well.
It's a hot one, isn't it?
It's a hot one today, but we love it down here in Texas. Game 2 goes tomorrow night. The Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars. We'll see you there, Oil Country.